Hello and welcome to a kooky corner of YouTube, where we are going to be having a bauble bonanza. Yeah, you heard it correctly, a bauble bonanza. We are going to be making baubles of all kinds, of all different shapes and sizes, and all different materials, so that you can have a bauble-tastic Christmas this year. You can hang baubles wherever you like. Who am I to question? These are for my tree. And I'm just going to take you through all the different ways that I created my baubles. And yeah, there's going to be two parts to this. This is the first part. Second part is going to be coming after it later. So the next video that I will release will be another bauble video. So we're going to have, as I say, a fun time. So yeah, stay tuned and we'll see what kind of baubles we're going to be making, okay? So for this, we are going to use some Elmer's glue wool. We've got some little scraps of fabric there that I've cut up into tiny pieces. You don't need many. You don't need as many as I've got there. Glitter glue is optional if you want to use that. So I've got a few different varieties here that we could use when we are making. And obviously there's the lovely Elmer's glue. And of course, a glue brush, very important. So I am coating my bauble with the Elmer's glue and I'm sticking down the little pieces of fabric. Some of them can be a little bit tricksy. You have to make sure that they go down really well and they are stuck on both sides. So what I do is I put another coat on top to make sure that they are well coated. Once it's covered in fabric, then I will add in some of my folk art glitter glue just over the top. You can brush it on or you can tap it on with your finger, however you want it to go. But while it's wet, you might as well just add that in at the same time so that it can all dry together. You can add it on afterwards, you know, whichever. If you've got more time, then that's what you could do. The second collage piece is a paper collage, so little scraps of old tissue paper. The thinner paper the better, I find, with this. I did try it with thicker paper and it doesn't stick as well. So thinner tissue papers, old wrapping papers, painted papers. So if you painted up some tissue paper, that's also ideal as well. And in these I use some painted in the fabric sheets that you put in with your dryer. I painted up some of those and they work quite well on this as well, so I've added those in too. Both the fabric and the paper collage methods are great ways to rejuvenise old baubles that have had their day, basically. So yeah, it's a great way to use them up again and to get them hanging back up on that tree. Again, once it's finished, this one needs to be left to dry completely. Okay, this one is a pom-pom made with a clover pom-pom maker. I have these in all sizes, including a great big huge one like that, which I want to try out at some point. This is the largest one of, apart from the extra large, this is the largest one that they do, I believe. I've not found any larger than this, as I say, apart from the very extra large one. Pom-pom. Okay, so this is the clover pom-pom maker. It is really easy to use. It has little wings that fold out on the sides like this, like so. Okay, and this bit comes apart, but for our purposes to start off, we need to have it closed together. Okay, so we have our wool. This is this very bright party time. I think it's a James Brett one, if I remember correctly. But it makes nice poms. So you start off at one end. I mean, you can secure it if you want to. I never really use this bit. Maybe I should. Nah, I can't be bothered. Let's just keep starting on. So you just start winding on one of these little like half circle ends. You need to make sure that you don't go over this bit, so you don't cover that bit with anything. And you basically just wind and wind and wind. It's quite fun, really, and really quite quick. So I'm just going to keep going. And I like a nice thick pom, so I'm going to fill all that center area with wool. Hopefully. It's such fun and it's so easy and not as messy as the other baubles I've showed you. The other baubles can get a little bit messy, but they're well worth it. It's a lot of fun. Get messy, do it. Such a lot of fun. You can get gluey fingers as well. If you're anything like me, you like to do that on purpose so that you can have the pleasure of peeling off the glue. And that's the child in me. So yeah, keep winding, 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 winding. On the rather large pom-pom maker, the extra large one, you can actually, it's sectioned off so that you see where the sections are. Well, if you want to do like a one with 4 different colours, you know, if you're doing different walls, it's very handy. To show you that one at some point in time. Now getting into this bright reddy orange. Keep checking to make sure I've not gone over the edges, because those bits need to close together really securely. So trying to make sure that I haven't gone over all those bits. It's getting nice and full now. To remember to get down to the edges. Keep taking it back into the centre. The centre bit, I'm going to make sure that that bit is kind of as much wool on it as I possibly can. Now we're going to this beautiful fuchsia-y, pinky purple colour. All the colours. Makes my heart sing. I promise I won't sing. No, I won't sing the rainbow song. No, I promise I won't. You can sing it if you like. You can sing along. Okay, right. When we get to a stage where it's kind of full, like that, you take it down to this side and see where you need to join it up. So I need to just take this to the end of here. Again, making sure that that's all covered in. I'm going to take it to there, and then I just transfer onto this one. So you get as close to the transfer point as you can. Wind. I'm going to turn this way around actually, just because my wool's trying to run away. Did you see that? Escaping. I like baubles. I'm not a huge, this may come as a surprise to you, I'm not a huge Christmas person, but I like baubles. I think I like the build up to Christmas. I like the Christmas songs, maybe, you know, not the do we know it's Christmas kind of thing, because that does my head in. I've heard it so many times. But I like the carols. I'm really into the old carols, like wassailing carols and things. So that's the thing that I like about Christmas. I also like to go wassailing in January. If you don't know what wassailing is, it's where you all go and tramp outside to your local orchard, wherever they're growing some apples, and you literally sing to the apples. So you can go out, have a nice big cup of hot cider, which I love. Oh, love some hot cider, mulled cider, beautiful. And you go and sing to the apple trees, and then maybe someone will like make some louder drum sounds as well to frighten away evil spirits. Or sometimes somebody shoots like a shotgun a couple of times up into the air. I've known wassailing where that's happened before. Then we all tramp back to the pub, have some more mulled cider, and watch a mama group reenact a story. There'll be some Morris dancing. If you don't know what that is, it's where people wave sticks or handkerchiefs in the air. Those are the things I like about the Christmassy period. There's also a lot of things going on around my part of the world, or my part of the country even, where you can go and join in like processions and stuff. And there's, quite a few things. I'll try and make a list of all the things that I have been to or go to, so that if you're ever in the vicinity, you can pop along too. Right, we're coming to the point where this is almost full. So the middle's full. I've got nothing over those bits. So we join this bit down like so. Okay. And this is the point where I am going to just wind this around here for a minute. Now, banging the camera, she says, you need a pair of sharp scissors for this next bit. Because what we're going to do is, holding this together, we're going to cut up the middle. Now, if you've made cardboard ones, you will know that this is what you do next. Love it, all flares out. I've handily got a little groove there that I can just run my scissors along. And you want to make sure that each of those strands that you've wound around is cut through, and there's nothing there to stop it from opening out. So you have to be quite careful. I've made a lot of these lately. I've been helping my daughter make some pom-poms for the hats that she's been loom knitting. Because she's been short of time, she's very handy at making poms herself. In fact, she's the chief pom-pom maker in the household, because she's got much more of an eye for finishing them off. But so pom-poms for hats is what I've been making with this very pom-pom maker. As I say, you can make your own out of cardboard if you're feeling handy, but I have these and I love them. I've used them a lot, so they've been well worth the investment for me. Okay, so now we're at that point. We've got our little yarn end there. I've cut all the way through. So what I want to do is I want to trim it off there. I want to cut myself a length of the yarn. You don't have to have it too long if you don't want to hang it up. I like to give myself the option, you know. I might want to sew it into something. But for this one, it's going to be a hanging bauble. So I need a little bit left over to hang it up with. Right, okay. Now, do not open your pom-pom maker at this point. All you will have is lots of little bits of wool. You need to fasten it off. So we need to, quite careful, I've made a lot of these lately. I've been helping my daughter make some pom-poms for the hats that she's been loom knitting. Because what we're going to do is, I want to trim it off there. where that groove is down the middle, we want to make a knot with the yarn going all the way through, and you make it really tight. I'll make a nice really tight knot. I like to do this one twice, like so, and pull it tight, really tight, but not so that your yarn breaks. And then I do it on the other side as well, because I'm cautious. And I want it to not come apart on me when I take those bits apart. Said the voice of experience. Someone, not naming any names, forgot to do this bit before they took it apart once, and I ended up with some very, very short lengths of yarn. Did I say it was me? Of course it was me. Do not forget this part. Okay, so we've got these strings here. What we want to do now is to do the magic part, which is opening these little doors, like such. Lift those up. Same on the other side, so you'll have two little archy doors to open on this side as well, like so. And you put it apart, and you have your pom. And look at that boy. He's cool, isn't he? Now what you can do now, because we've got some stray ends, because where I joined it, you can trim it. If you're feeling brave, you can get those, you know, the dog brushes that I showed you when we were needle felting. If you don't, you can get some dog grooming brushes. You can even brush this out to make it fluffy. But I just like to just roll it about, see any odd bits that are sticking out. Just give it a bit of a haircut. As I say, my daughter is so much better at that than I am. She is much more precise on how she likes her poms to look. Good idea to do underneath this is to have a little bowl to catch all these bits. You can save this for your oats jar. Floofy, floofy, floof. Hey, hey, hey. And you've got a pom-pom bauble. You can make them smaller. You can make a giant size one, as I said, with this. And if you make your own, you can make whatever size you like. You're just going to use an awful load of yarn in order to do that. Floofy. Trim it down. You don't want to trim it down so much that you're actually losing the pom itself. But yeah, pom-pom. I'll see if I can find the one I made that's got all the floof cut out. Bear with a second. Okay, I'm back with bells on. I'm back with bells on. This is one that I brushed out, so you can see the difference. Look, that's a smaller one, obviously, but you can see the difference that the brushing makes. You just have to be very careful that you don't pull all the little bits out. You will lose some of the floof. It'll make it fluffy, but you'll have a little bit of fluff left in your brush, which you can use for needle felting. Nothing is wasted. Sorry about the bell noise, but I want to show you how I finish these off, because I quite like a nice bell on my pom. So I've got this big bag of bells. I'm going to delve in and find one. It's going to be a little bit noisy. I apologise, but I want one of these blue bells here. Oh yeah, that's so cool. Got one with a string on it. No, I don't. La! Oh dear, I am a big child. Let's put those bells over there out of the way. Okay. Oh no, not that one. This boy needs a bell. So, don't know whether that'll go through. It will go through. I am going to use my beautiful clover darning needle. Again, clover, because everything they make is just lovely. This wool is not so lovely. It's just splitting on me. Come on. Oh, come on. Do the sensible thing. Fold it over like a good one. It's only because it's very chunky wool. Okay, will you go through? You will. And I finish it off with a little dangly bell, because I'm extra. Tie it on. So when I hang it up, it'll jingle. These are also handy to put on your husband's hats when you're making pom-pom, so that you know when he's coming. Oh dear. It's like cat bells, isn't it? You always know when your cat's on the way in. Okay, so I'm tying a knot there. You've got some room for hanging. I'm just going to trim it off there. And we've got a jangly little pom-pom decoration. I know my daughter's going to look at this and say, you didn't trim it properly, so I'm going to trim it a little bit more. I'll play with that later. But yeah, jangly little pom-pom bell. Another bauble. I'll sit here and play for it. I'm sure I was a cat in a previous life. The next bauble. We're on a bauble bonanza, so you can't have a bauble bonanza without a lot of different baubles, can you? These are the needle felted baubles that I made a few years ago. There's probably a video on them in my history somewhere. I'll see if I can make sure it's in the Christmas list. I'm not sure if there is a Christmas list. I'll make sure there's a Christmas list playlist with some of the things in. I'm sure it's in there. So for these, I use these polystyrene balls that you can get off of Amazon. You could actually make your own if you want to be very purist about it. Make your own ball out of some spare wool. So you're going to need our polystyrene bauble. You're going to need a selection of wools or acrylic wool. Shall we do an acrylic one? Ooh, sparked my interest. I'll go and fetch my acrylic wool. So yes, instead of wool, if you are allergic to wool or you are maybe vegan and you don't want to use pure wool, you can use acrylic wool. Let me get this out of the bag and you can see the beauty of its colour. It is... Oh, can't even open the bag. Look at it, it's so beautiful. And I've got purple on there as well. Oh, let's do this one. This is pretty. This is just wool that's been yarn that has been brushed out, and this is acrylic. So let's do this one because it's very pretty. The same thing you would do if you were using pure wool. So I'm going to wrap this, kind of spread it out a bit. And cover it over. So yeah, this is just yarn that I've brushed out with a couple of dog brushes. You can do it with the carding brushes as well if you have those, but dog brushes will do. Right, where is my... And all you do then is just needle felt it into your polystyrene ball. I think it's so pretty. These colours are really pretty. I think it was King Cole, maybe. It's been such a long time. I've had this in a bag for a while, so I can't remember particularly which yarn this was. It was clearly a variegated one, and I kind of think it was King Cole Riot that I brushed out. So I am assuming that this is that. So this is the same technique if you're using pure wool or if you're using your acrylic fibres. You're just stabbing it in to the polystyrene. It's such fun, especially if you've had a day where you've been stressed. Just to take out some of that stress on stabbing into a polystyrene ball. You can't do these obviously with your old baubles like I showed you with the collage one and the, well, both collage, one with fabric and one with paper. So it is something you'd either have to make up a central ball of wool to stab into, or acrylic yarn to stab into. But I don't mind these polystyrene balls. I know some people don't like them so much, but I think this is something I'm going to be keeping for years. I make baubles for my tree every year, and every year I've got a memory with each one that I've made, and they all go on the tree, and they're all different colours. My tree is not themed. I do not theme my tree. Anyway, I'm going to carry on with the stabbing and I'll come back to you when it's finished. Okay, I'm back and my ball has been needle felted. It looks a little bit like the earth, doesn't it? It's kind of got that vibe to it. What I sometimes like to do now is you can sew into these. If you've got a long needle, you need a really kind of longish needle in order to get through. But you can sew into them. You can decorate around the edges. If you look at this one, I have needle felted a contrasting wool or acrylic yarn into it, and then I've sewn into it as well, which is easy to do. You can just sew into it as long as you're careful. You just have to be a little bit careful. Some of them I put a little bit of glue, this kind of glue, little glue dot in the middle of them, and left them to dry, and that also looks nice. It's as many ways as you can think of. So let me move that out of the way. That's my little needle there. So as many ways as you can think of, you can decorate these with. You could even wrap around some other contrasting yarn as well if you wanted to, just as a matter of, because I've got this on me, you could kind of just roll it around and wrap it around and needle felt the ends in, you know, however you want to do it. I quite like mine like that, but I might add in some other colour just because I have some little scraps of acrylic yarn in here. So let me pick out my scrappages that could go. So I've got bits like that. That's not going to show up, so that's an acrylic bit. And I'm just going to show you just a quick way of decorating up. That's when some pinky yarn there. That's not probably going to go, is it? We'll stick with this one, I think. See if I can find another one. That's too bright. Too bright. Ooh, that one there. So with these, let me just put this away. If I don't put it away, it'll all fly around the room and escape. My needle guide there. Okay, so we've got our needle felted ball. I'm going to pull off a bit of this and I'm going to roughly shape it into a ball. I'm going to very carefully, minding my fingers, just shape it a bit. And I'm going to find an area to place it on. Not going to be that one. I'm gonna felt it. You can also do this with circles of acrylic felt, which I will show you in one moment. So just felting that in. You don't have to go too far in because it's going to felt into the acrylic underneath, which is all well and good. So you've got a vague circly dot there. So you could do the same with this and just pull a bit off and get it into some kind of a vague shape. It just makes it easier when you go to apply it that you've actually got the shape in place a little bit before you try and put it on. Or you could just wing it. I usually do that, as you well know. And so I am going to melt this in. So that works quite well also. Now, and we'll just grab out some acrylic felt and I'll show you how to do that. So just got some scraps of acrylic felt here and I'm just going to eyeball a circle. So I'm just going to cut out a rough little circle here. Let's see how this goes. There we go. So I find a spot for it, that can go there, and felt it in. And I'm just not going too far into the ball, just adding it in. And the fibres of that will start to come apart and resemble, well, kind of resemble the bits we've done previously. It'll be exactly the same, and also the colour will be a lot brighter. So let's try it with a green, see how quick that was. I'm just going to cut a bit off this green here. Eyeball my circle. Okay, let's find a little spot. I'll do nicely. So, stab away. I find this really therapeutic. I love just sitting and literally stabbing things in place. So you can see we've got variations on a theme now. You don't have to do circle, you can do whatever you like. You could try and do a line. Shall we try and do a line? This is my tester one, so yeah, let's do that. So I'm going to do a little, like a fleck kind of thing. So make sure it's secure before you let it go. Come on. We can do this. Oh yeah. So it doesn't have to be a circle. You could do like little confetti pieces. Quick and simple. Let's do a green one. I'm doing a little, do a square a bit this time. Stick it there. Make sure it goes in. Fold it down. Oh, you can have such fun. Just need to remember, mind your fingers, because these needles have got little tiny barbs on them, if you can see. And they will go in your finger and they will not be nice. They don't play nicely with fingers. So there you go. Lots of different ways you can decorate this. You can then, if you want to, add a little spot glitter in there if you want to. You could sew into it however much time you've got. And then you can hang it two ways. So I've got these that I got from Amazon, which are like little pronged things that you push in to the top to make a bauble. Or you could just like sew in a length of something to hang with. You know, you could sew it through and then hang it that way, or you could sew it from the bottom. You could even attach a little bead to it. You know, the world is open to you. The world is your lobster, so you can do whatever you like with those. So there you go, some little needle felted Christmas balls. Let's move that old mat out of the way. Well, they're really pretty, and yeah, have fun making them in your own colourways. And while we're doing a bauble bonanza, I will show you these ones that I made last year, I think it was, from some ceramic baubles that I got from Hobbycraft. So they were like a plain ceramic, and all I did, really simple, I think I did a video on this, as I say. If I did, I will link it to you. I just painted them up. They all got painted with a base colour, because they just come in like a plain creamy white. It's the ceramic, just a plain one. So I painted them with a base colour, which is kind of like a matte acrylic. And then over the top, I've gone to town, and these are my confetti baubles. That one I haven't added some glue to, but this one I added some glitter glue over the top, just because I could. The other ones were painted ones, so I did little holly and berries on that one. And this one was just like a leafy pattern with some gold, or was this copper leaf on the bottom. So you can actually just go to town again with these. You could paint reindeer faces on the front of them if you wanted to. Such a nice way to have a fun time and make yourself some baubles that you're going to use for years to come. So there we go. That's all my baubles that I need to show you. I can't show you the finished version of the material or the paper ones yet, because they're still drying. But when they're done, I will be back for part 2 of Bauble Bonanza, and we will be looking at some crocheted baubles also at that point in time. So don't forget, like and subscribe, show me your thumbs, tune in, and we will be bauble crazy the next time I'm back here. So come back here for more baubles. I will see you very soon. Bye for now.